So the WWE fans have pretty much been going nuclear on Triple H, Paul Levesque, and the WWE creative for the decision to have John Cena tap out to Gunther at Saturday night's main event last night in the final match of John Cena's career. They went nuclear, but was it justified? Let's talk about it. What's up, you guys? It's the Wrestling Old Head. You have entered the portal of pro wrestling. If you're new around here, stay true around here. Go ahead, hit the subscribe button down below, hit the like button, and go ahead and leave a comment in the comment section below about what you think of this whole ordeal. So let's break it down like a shotgun. Last night, John Cena, pretty much definitely his last wrestling match ever. This is something that has been unprecedented. Cena is the first wrestler that I can remember that had a debut that I witnessed, worked up from the bottom to become a top guy, like the top guy, like Superman Cena is on the same nucleus as Hulk Hogan, as Stone Cold Steve Austin, okay? Very few are in that rarefied air where Cena got to at one point, basically carrying a company on his back. You've heard the story, but I'm painting the picture, so stick with me on this because what I've got to say at the end is going to make all of this make sense, okay? You've heard it before, but he became a top guy and he had a proper send-off. And what was so different about what like Hogan did and Steve Austin did and everybody did, an actual retirement, not just a retirement, but a retirement tour. And he swore he will never wrestle again. Now, you never say never in the wrestling business, but I believe him, yo. Like, I believe Cena. I think he's done for good. And I'm going to get to it, but there's a paper trail that has been left where you can definitely see he made sure to let us know in Easter egg format why he will never come back. We had so many Easter eggs to this journey of Cena throughout the years that culminated in this match with Gunther at Saturday night's main event. When John became Super Cena, he was met with mixed reactions all over the States, all over the world, really, but more so in the States. And in some cases, there were overwhelming jeers. I mean, he was booed almost out of buildings for a couple seasons there. They also showered him with "you can't wrestle" chants. But it was tonight where he was met with cheers and one of the biggest ovations of the year. And that he tapped out to someone who can wrestle and whose entire character is that he's a wrestler's wrestler makes this story complete. This was the way that it was supposed to end. Now, it's not the happy ending. A lot of people I listened to I read one comment, and I can't remember if it was Twitter or if it was Reddit, where a guy had made a post where he said this is like neo kayfabe, where Cena never became a face again. He never became a good guy again. That he was a heel from the moment that he turned heel at Elimination Chamber earlier in the year till now, because he gave us nothing, right? He gave everyone exactly what he said. Nothing. No happy ending. You deserve nothing. You are not worthy. And if you remember that promo that he cut the next night on Raw, that's exactly what he said. And that's exactly what we got. We didn't get the happy ending. We didn't get what we thought, or at least the fans in Washington, D.C. at that time felt that they needed to see. That finality. Cena wanted to leave no doubt in anyone's mind that this was his last match. He didn't want fans to start theorizing and fantasy booking that he didn't tap out, so he might come back, or The Rock shows up, so they're wrestling one last match. Cena wanted to make it abundantly clear, leave no stone unturned. Guys, this is it forever. In wrestling, we're used to like stars calling it quits with one last match, which has become a telltale sign that they're going to be back again. But the difference here is we got a retirement tour and we got that final match, and that was it. Every stop was his last appearance at the venue. Never before in my lifetime have I seen someone go out like this, which cements Cena's finality as a pro wrestler, in my opinion. I find it essential that they continue building Gunther after this as a career killer. In 1 year, he is responsible for retiring Goldberg and retiring John Cena. I don't think they should leave that idea on the table. This should be what Gunther is going forward for as long as they can. I'm talking taking out legend after legend, retiring R-Truth, retiring The Miz, Sheamus, AJ Styles, Chris Jericho, Roman Reigns, Brock Lesnar. Everyone but Rey Mysterio, who in my opinion, he needs to go out against his son, Dominic Mysterio, and in an emotional moment where Dom, in tears, accepts Rey as his father and celebrates with him after pinning him. That's the type of stuff I want to see with Rey. Rey doesn't need to be retired by Gunther. I think that should be the exception to the rule. It should be his son, Dominic. That's just my opinion. Because Dom is already on the precipice of becoming one of the most fan favorite guys in the company. I believe that is going to happen, and I don't want him to lose his edge. I don't want him to shave his face and, cut his hair and all that. I think he should maintain being the same person, but I think in that type of a scenario, especially if it happens under the WWE and not AAA, I think that Dominic and Rey should have that real father-son emotional moment where Rey passes the torch to his son, and then that's where Dominic goes off and he gets the cheers, more cheers. People feel comfortable cheering him, and he takes that, but he still maintains that lie, cheat, steal type of character, because I think that works for him, and I don't think he should change that. Gunther, I've seen a lot of people talk about Gunther's age, right? Gunther is 38 years old, and people are saying he's like an old head, like that he's like not like the future of the WWE. But let me paint a picture for you. This isn't the NFL or the NBA, and even in the NFL, you've got like Phillip Rivers and Matt Stanford that are still playing quarterback at pretty elite levels to the point where they're starters. In wrestling, your longevity is predicated on how you take care of your body. Gunther isn't doing insane flips and dives or slicing himself wide open. I think the first time he had bled in the WWE was at SummerSlam against CM Punk, right? He's definitely not taking unprotected steel chair shots. His style of wrestling could see his career extended into his 60s, and I'm not even kidding. Think about the way that he wrestles. Very methodic, very slow paced, power moves, right? That's the type of move style that can see Gunther go for another 25 years at least. Cena retired at 48, okay? That means Gunther has a decade of dominance to go before he is at that age. So Gunther is, based on all of that, the future of the WWE, because now you've got at least a decade of dominance in the WWE that can carry the torch of most hated. And who else in the WWE right now that you can look at is going to be able to dominate as the most hated for a decade? You can say Braun Breaker, you can say Obafemi, you can say Dominic Mysterio. All of those guys could be cheered. Every single one of them. Gunther, and to a certain degree, depending on how he wants to go about this, Logan Paul, those two are the only guys I see in the WWE, at least in the men's division, that will stand the test of time as being the most hated for the rest of their career, potentially, especially after Gunther just destroyed John Cena like that. Gunther's being built to have whomever in that roster put an end to his career killer streak. And when they do, and if they do, they'll become an icon. That could either be Braun Breaker or Obafemi, like I just mentioned. At the present time, it could be those guys, at least in my eyes. And I'm talking about Those three right there, Obafemi, Braun Breaker, and Gunther, they're the future. Breaker's a badass bad guy right now, but he will have a run as the top guy in his career. You can see it. The way that he moves, his taunt where he's like snapping and losing his mind and all that crowd's going to go crazy for that. The way that he runs around the ring to do the spear, all that is stuff that will get him cheered. Now, you cannot plan a retirement for someone as big as John Cena on the fly. And I think that, to me, is one of the reasons why Politic Levesque, because he be politicking, you know what I'm saying? Paul Levesque deserves the criticism for that. But you got to understand, and I'm not trying to play devil's advocate, but during that heel turn, they had to pivot at least twice because they had The Rock, and then he bowed out. Then they had Travis Scott, and then he removed himself. There was a lot. But I don't think, even on the fact that they pivot, I thought they did a pretty decent job of navigating around that as best they could, given the fact that they probably had to move a lot of pieces around on the fly. I'm not a fan of on-the-fly booking for that reason. You should have a plan. But in situations like what happened with the Cena heel turn, you had to pivot because The Rock's not available. Travis Scott's not available. And I'm sure that you can argue, why was Travis Scott even around in the first place if you didn't have The Rock? But you got to work with what you have in that moment. And the plan, at least at that time, was for Travis Scott to be involved in a ring, wrestling at that point. And then him bowing out, I'm sure they didn't expect that to happen, so they had to pivot. But I don't believe, because of the ending of the John Cena-Gunther match, that you should start calling him Osama bin Levesque. Like, I don't think that is something that is needed here. This was the ending that John Cena wanted. This was the ending that they all came together. I believe they all came together at the end of the day, and they discussed this, and they felt like it was the right move. Superman, this is just like, this was a comic book ending. This was the ending that was needed so that you can understand that Cena's not coming back. If they left any doubt, then people would be theorizing. People would have their expectations up. You got to understand, the WWE does not want you thinking that Cena's coming back for WrestleMania, coming back as a surprise entrance in the Royal Rumble, and I'm sure that John Cena feels the same way. And I'm going to be honest, I understand the frustration with the loss, specifically the way Cena lost, However, I believe this was the way that Cena wanted to lose because he didn't want to leave any hope that he could come back one last time. He gave up and said goodbye because that's the way a comic book hero says goodbye. Superman died type shit. And for that, I'm okay with it. Especially if through Gunther, we get the birth of a new Superman type star. And I'm looking at Braun Breaker and Obafemi in that regard. I'm talking in circles here. But the point is, this ending pissed a lot of people off. Mission accomplished. Cena did not want a hero's goodbye. He has been giving his entire career, he has been giving people opportunity after opportunity. Some people that deserved it, some people that didn't measure up. He went out giving his all and making sure that the WWE had a top bad guy as they move towards the future. That top bad guy is Gunther. And because now they have a top bad guy in Gunther, one of the most hated in the WWE next to Logan Paul, you now have an opportunity to build a new superhero. That new Superman character maybe could be the next Hulk Hogan, maybe could be the next Steve Austin, maybe could be the next John Cena, or possibly someone that is better than all three of them. Someone that could win 18 world championships. But you can't do that without a supervillain. Hulk Hogan had Andre the Giant, had Ted DiBiase, had Zeus, had Earthquake. Stone Cold Steve Austin had Mr. McMahon, had The Rock, had Triple H. John Cena had CM Punk, had Edge, had Umaga, had Brock Lesnar. Roman Reigns had so many top villains, including Brock Lesnar. Now it's time to build your new Superman. And in order to do that, you need someone formidable at the top of the card. Doesn't have to be a 23-year-old guy. Doesn't have to be a 30-year-old guy. Gunther, in the twilight of his 30s, can still go with the best of them and is considered a predator, is considered a Terminator. And I don't mean predator like a creep or anything like that. I'm talking about the movie Predator. You know what I mean? So you need that. And I think it's opening the door for a guy like a Obafemi or a guy like Braun Breaker to come in with the cape on to capture the crowd, to capture the young audience and become that icon. And I think that is the vision that John Cena had. So regardless of how you felt he should have went out, I see a lot of people saying that he should have just went out with a pinfall and everything. I'm telling you, they discussed this in the boardroom. They white chalkboard ideas out. I'm sure they did, even if it was on the fly. And they discussed, well, if I go out with a pinfall, people are going to say I never gave up, which means that people are going to think that I'm going to come back because I never gave up. He gave up. He said his goodbye because this was it for him. And for that, I'm okay with it. And I understand why people are not okay with it, but you got to understand, this is character development 101. And in a couple of years, you'll start to see the fruits of the labor. You'll start to see the roses bloom, and you'll start to see an opportunity. Maybe it's not Braun Breaker and Obafemi. Maybe it's going to be somebody we're not even thinking of. Maybe Javon Evans is going to beef up. Maybe, Ricky Saints. Maybe, somebody we're not even thinking of that's on the roster right now. I mean, John Cena basically came out of the ether, came out of a developmental territory, was the white meat babyface that nobody knew who he was. He went out and challenged Kurt Angle. There may be somebody on the NXT roster, on the Evolve roster, somebody that's a part of the WWE ID program that we're not even thinking about, that's going to get an opportunity to climb up the ranks and stand across the ring from a veteran Gunther who might be 45 years old and get a chance to become an icon. So it pissed people off. It got people emotional. That's what pro wrestling's all about. And when it's like that, that's when it works the best, in my opinion. Go back and look at Brock Lesnar beating the streak for The Undertaker. Go back and look at Shawn Michaels super kicking Ric Flair and sending him into retirement. This is it. This is what. Go back and look at Hulk Hogan leg dropping Randy Savage and joining the NWO. These are the things, the pivotal moments. Goldberg against Hulk Hogan in Georgia, in Atlanta. These are the things that make way for new superheroes. This professional wrestling, you guys. If you guys are new around here, stay true around here. Let me know what you think in the comment section down below. Was this the right move in your eyes? Was John Cena supposed to tap out? Did you think it was going to go another way? Would you have liked to see it go another way? The WWE is going to show you right now, when you're pissed off, that's where they want some people to be pissed off and they want some people to be intrigued. You can put me in the category of being intrigued because I have hope that we're going to see somebody come out of this that's going to be a superstar, a megastar, that's going to own the house. Cody is owning the house right now. Cody Rhodes is owning the house right now. I think Cody Rhodes has about 5 more years left in him, max, as a top babyface. In a minute, we're going to want him to become the American Nightmare, the true American Nightmare. When he passes that torch, could have a new hero on that side as well. So we've got 2 potentials here, 2 mega villains, a mega villain in a suit and a mega villain that walks around in a long coat that just chops motherfuckers down. So you guys let me know what you think in the comment section. Thank you guys for listening. I appreciate it. If you're new around here, like I said, stay true around here. Go ahead, hit the thumbs up, hit the subscribe button, and don't forget to click that notifications bell if you want to hear more from me on pro wrestling, a thing that I've loved since I was 3 years old. This ain't new to me. I've seen it all. Guys. So this, to me, is just another chapter that's going to lead to a new book where we open that book, and at the end of it, we have another legacy. So thank you guys again. And if you like this and other videos, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. This is the Wrestling Old Head. Thank you for stopping by in the portal of pro wrestling. I'll be back soon. See you in the next one.